All right, it's Tuesday morning again. Time for the morning yank. How you doing, Paul?
Yeah. I'm
Gio.
doing good. How you doing?
Good. I like that Barry White sound.
The very white. Very white.
You're onto something. That you could be a character. Very white.
Very white. I should have put that as my name.
You should have. Little foresight. Come on, try. That's all I'm
Next time.
asking. Just
Next
put a
time.
little effort in. Got some people in already though. Let's say hi to them. Helen. Hey, Helen. Hi, Lolly. Danon.
Helen, Lolly, Danon, Kathy,
Kathy. Diane.
Diane.
All right. Sharing is caring, by the way. Please get this out. We're live right now,
Yes.
but
It's
later we'll be
caring.
everywhere. We're all over the place. Wherever you're at, whenever you're listening, please like and share this out and comment. Say hi to us. We love hearing from you.
Or just leave fart noises or something.
Something? Yeah. Let us know
That's
you were
cool.
here. Scribble on the wall.
That's cool. Put like poop emojis and shit.
One of the favorite clubs I used to work at when I was doing stand up more had a wall, and everybody would write something on it. Those are cool. Just leave a note. Let us know you were here.
They did that at Harpo's. All the bands that played there in the 60s and 70s, they would have the tapestries, and then they would put the tapestries up on the ceiling. So when you
Hmm.
went and played at Harpo's, when you went backstage, the tapestries backstage would be like Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, and shit. It was fucking sweet.
Nice.
Alice Cooper.
Right on, man. So, what have you been up to this past week? It's been a long time since I've seen you.
Passing. Well, I've been passing a kidney stone and shit all week.
What?
Yeah,
First I've
those are
heard of this.
those are exciting.
This is an important moment in your life.
Not really. I pass about 2 or 3 a year, every year.
What? I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
mean,
that's right.
what they're getting easier to pass though now because I've been drinking a lot of cranberry, so they're getting a lot easier to pass. But they used
Why do you have so many kidney stones?
I've had them since I was like 14 when I first started getting them, and every year they just pass. I pass them, but I'm getting them because of my glucose. I'm hypoglycemic, so my sugar levels are weird. So my kidney, what it'll do is it'll just build up little sugar balls, and then I gotta fucking pass them.
Damn. Man, that's rough. I'm sorry to hear
Hey,
that.
hey.
So does it even hurt anymore or are you just used to it?
No, it hurts.
Oh,
Now it's like I've been drinking a lot of cranberry lately, so now it's like it's tight and it's a little bit painful, and you're waiting for that huge painful moment to hit, but it doesn't hit. But before it would get so painful that I would be literally like in the fetal position on the floor, and you couldn't move for days.
damn.
Oh, it hurts. And it's not like you think. Like people say, oh, it's, pissing out a rock. That's got to hurt. That's not the part. That part is actually, you look forward to that part after all the other bullshit. Because what it is it's a, like a chigger. Those chiggers in the woods and shit. And it's like a
Hmm.
chigger that released itself from your kidney. And then it takes 7 to 10 days before it passes around to the front. So it's slowly moving and just cutting its way through your back, through your fucking kidney, through your tract, all the way through around the side and then out the front. Once you get it around the side, it's a lot easier to handle. But when it's in the back, man, it hurts so bad. It'll make you throw up from pain.
I didn't mean to laugh. I was thinking about something somebody said earlier. That's what she said.
Yeah. She's saying a lot of shit.
She is awful. She's
She
out of
is.
hand at this point.
Yeah, she is. She's out of hand.
It's extremely inappropriate. That's
It's
painful what you were describing.
Oh yeah,
I should
very
be
painful.
ashamed of myself.
I wouldn't wish that shit on my worst enemy. Never. That or sciatica. Sciatica
Mm,
is fucking bad. But
that is bad.
thanks to the oil, it's not so bad anymore.
The RS oil.
Yes.
I want to make my own. I need to get my cultivation thing up and going. I'm gonna do that. I'm actually gonna buy the old grow tent and light kit and everything from a guy I know. He's getting a
Okay.
new bigger one.
All right.
I don't know
So
the specifics or anything, so don't
I grew.
ask follow-up questions.
It's a job, man. It's a 6 hour a day job. I grew for about 3 years when I had my sciatica and I had to retire.
6 hours a day?
Yes. Yes.
Why? What takes so long?
Well, there's a lot of shit that goes on. You don't just put it in there and leave it alone. Like you have to mix your nutrients. You have to transplant. You have to. Each one is its own stage. So you're gonna have baby plants, and those have to be. You're gonna have to spray them with neem oil and shit to make sure they don't get bugs or any kind of mildew or anything like that. You're gonna have to take care of those, and then you're gonna have your other ones that you got coming up that are from seedling, and a lot of those are gonna be your clones. So those are gonna be in your cloning machine or in the cubes, however you want to do it. And and then you also have you got to mix your own dirt. It's a 2 week process. Once you cut it down, it's a 2 week process. You don't just cut it down and start smoking it. You gotta cut it down. You gotta hang it up. You gotta let it dry, and then it takes about 3 or 4 days to dry. And while you're doing that, you're cleaning out your pots, putting new dirt in your new plants that you had sitting in another room, putting those in the bigger pots. You're taking your small baby plants, putting those in the small pots, and then you're starting your new baby plants all over again. And then this takes about a week, and then now you're starting your harvest, and then that's another 2 week process. And it's literally 6 hours a day, easy 6 hours a day. It's a hard job. I went back to work because that job was harder.
Well, even though you're raining on my parade, I think I
I'm
need to
just
do
telling
it.
you the truth.
I think I need to do it because, one, I use it every day. I'm a daily smoker of cannabis. I treat myself with it medically. And two, I think Babels could benefit from it. As
What
you know,
kind of
she's been
lighting
dealing.
are you looking at? Are you looking at LED lighting or are you looking at high pressure sodium?
These would be LED.
LED. Okay, that'll help a lot on your bill. My bills were $400 or $500 a month for electric.
I heard
Be-
the sodium's the best way to go, but these would be LED.
High pressure sodium is the best way to go, but it's what it is literally is it's a street light. Like, your street lights over your fucking or the ones that are in the parking lots of businesses and shit. It's
Hmm.
literally the same exact ballast light, everything.
Oh, really?
Yep. So I mean, think about how much that costs to run, and now you're running six of those. I used to run six of them.
You're a boss. Hey, I'm working on that investigation. Speaking of cannabis,
Let's hear about it.
well, I'm gonna do some more research today. I'm thinking about it anyway. Going and getting me a Missouri vape cart.
Mhm.
I did a little scientific looking up of things this morning and did find out that THCA does become THC when you add heat to it, but at a percentage of like 0.87. I did the math. That would be about 59% for what Illinois calls 70, 59 actual percent of THC. This stuff from Missouri, 84. And it
And it,
says it's all THC.
nice. Then
I
that's
don't
the
know. We'll
oil.
see. I'm going to find out. Yeah, this is a
See,
vape cart.
they usually don't put THCA in the vape oils. That's usually straight THC. I think because it's already cooked and broke down and everything to go through the process. But they sell these diamonds that are all THCA and they're 98% THCA, and which comes out to like 80, 81% THC, and
Hmm.
you smoke it like wax, and they
Right.
look they look like these little fucking they look like those little things in those pouches that say keep away from children, do not open, the drying
I've
pouches.
seen them. Yeah.
That's what they look like.
Yeah.
Pretty
I don't
sweet.
know. I'm going to find out because ours might be much better. Because ours costs more, as you know. I've talked about it and complained about it a lot. But that might be why.
Might be better quality.
That's what I'm saying. My buddy says much better, says a world of difference. I haven't made my investigation yet. And the next step, the scientific part, where I do human testing, that's $65 investment into that part of the study.
Human testing.
I'm entering into human testing.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
The physical trials.
I'm doing it. And then after that, if I get enough money, but I'll need a lot of it, a lot of money, I'm going to get me some FDA approval because you can buy that shit.
You can
Yeah.
buy your
Mhm.
FDA
It's for
approval.
sale.
Well, the Pfizer thing, they're not approved. You know that, right? The only thing that happened was that their emergency status just got extended. And the only reason they do
I
that is
thought they fully approved it for everybody 16 and up.
no, it's all they did was they just extended the emergency use. So 16 and up, they're at Now they're talking 12 years old, 10 years old. And Claudia, I forget her last name, but you know who she is, Claudia. She
Stauber.
Stauber, she posted that the reason why they're extending it and not approving it is because once it's approved, then you can start suing them. But when it's still under Emergency Use Act, which is EUA, they cannot be sued. This is an Emergency Use Act.
Well, I don't know anything about that. I do know that an FDA approval doesn't really mean much and is for sale. That's demonstrably true, and
Even through
an
this,
important thing to focus on.
yeah, even
Not
through
that it
this.
would mean shit, you know, that
Well,
FDA approved it to the people that don't want it.
all three companies cloned the same recipe. So why is only one being approved? Well, probably because they pushed the most money. They put the owner's kid on their softball team. Yada yada yada.
Dion agrees that full approval process has not been completed.
No, it has not. This they just extended the EUA.
Hmm. Yeah, I just found it interesting, that one of the main talking points when I was researching the news yesterday is that they were hoping that this would sway people that don't want it.
By
And
lying to them once again.
right, but the most impressive statistic that they had was that it would only sway about 32%, you know,
Yeah.
which I think's overinflated for sure. But it's funny that that's the highest they could even lie about. We're going to sway about 32% with this. 68% won't care. Well, what else has the FDA approved? That's probably why they don't care.
Well, I mean, they're coming out with boosters and shit already because they're saying that the other Jabberoo is already ineffective.
Now, Lolly's saying it's approved for 12 and up now.
It's not. I don't know if it's approved, but it is a recommended. But they did extend that emergency use act. That is a fact.
Well,
So
well, I hope we
and
haven't said the word yet. Let's not do it. Last
but
night we made it through the whole damn show. I never said it. I was so proud of myself. I don't think I've ever done that. The,
yeah,
the V word or the J word.
didn't the FDA approve DDT at one time?
It approved all kinds of shit. All kinds of shit. Lee listed off a bunch of stuff last night. I don't have a list in front of me, but a crazy amount of stuff.
Oh
And,
yeah,
a lot of the poisons in food, all of that is
asbestos.
approved.
Dude, asbestos was approved by the FDA. They were putting that shit in everything. Food, clothing.
Dion says cigarettes, that's a good example. A lot of stuff you could list off, and the opiates, and a lot of things that, you know, have been found to be harmful throughout time as more information has been revealed. Yeah. And the reason for that, I was watching a report on it. Uh, a lot of their funding, the majority of their funding, actually, about 60%, comes from the private sector. Only about 30% comes from government funding.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that started, from what I remember, in like the 50s or 60s. So it's been that way for a while. They've been for sale.
Yes.
They get paid to do these studies. And of course, they're going to sway them in the interest of who's paying them and where the money's coming from. They want more money.
I'd like to see some of these studies, like video of them doing the studies. Can you imagine? They probably got like three-headed dogs and shit. You know?
Well, yeah, because they're going to tell you about the worst case scenario stuff. That
No,
reminds me, I've been looking into Montauk.
the
Actually, I
Montauk
finally
Monster.
looked at that interview you wanted me to look at this morning, really. But there's a
Uh-huh.
medley of shit going on in my head. That's why I can't get anything done with this. It all really started when I was researching the Tesla thing, where I kept getting stuck. And now I'm following like 3 or 4 different rabbit holes, but they all blend together. So much of this shit does.
It all leads back to Montauk. All of
But
it.
all of this stuff centers around this hidden history, hidden technology shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, he talks about it
so
too.
much of it.
Preston Nichols in that interview, he talks about it. He says the only thing we're doing is furthering technologies from 2,000 years ago. He says that in his interview. And that's what Tesla said too. They're just
Right.
furthering technologies. Tesla said, I never created a single thing. He said, these visions just come to me. He said, these are These are things that were already created in the past. I am
I think
just
he was telling the truth with that.
picking up on the frequency. Oh yeah,
But I'm taking it a step further as saying they use him to attribute shit to. He was being honest with you in that moment,
yeah,
I
yep.
think. But that's my own bullshit that I've come up with looking at all this other stuff, because I'm starting to wonder, really, as far as he goes, if he's not an Easter egg, somewhere for you to stop looking. Be like, oh, I found something.
Well, you guys bring up good points about, did he even exist kind of shit,
Well, I believe he existed and was a real person and probably very intelligent, et cetera, et cetera. And maybe could even understand some of this shit when they put it before him. But I think this stuff existed before him, a lot of it.
Way before him. But that's what he
Yeah,
said too. He said
right. He did.
he never invented a single thing. And it all makes sense when you look at these ruins and shit. There's literally blocks of brick from Egypt that are found in Turkey. And there's pyramids in Egypt that are exploded. And they're like, I don't know what happened. And they just leave it at that. But literally they exploded. Like these fucking pyramids were power plants. Gonna tell you now. Mud flood shit. It's all about, and if you really get into the mud flood shit, it's all about prior energies. All mud flood stuff always talks about these grids, the grid points and the power plants and all that shit. And it's true. All of it's true. All of it's true. They even have paintings of the Sistine Chapel in 1100 where people had electricity and they had fucking like floating fucking cars and shit and all this shit. And it was literally what was really happening at that time. Every so often, every 1,000 years, every couple hundred years or so, just like we're doing now, we have to do a reset. So they fuck with history and they tell you the wrong shit, and we buy it hook, line, and sinker and teach it in our schools. But when you see things with your own eyes, you can see they built a city on top of a city on top of a city. And then they try to tell you that no, the city on top is the original city, and the shit you're finding underneath is just swamp gas. Forget about it. Forget about it, eh? Like
Right.
they did with Ermanovich, the guy that fucking found the Bosnian pyramids. And they keep telling him, oh no, that's just natural formation, and he's finding concrete, brick, spheres, big ass fucking ball spheres, burial chambers, hallways, all kinds of shit in this pyramid. And they're like, nah, that's not a pyramid, that's natural growth. Forget about it. Eh.
There's just a ton of it, and you went a lot of places. I don't know how to get back where I was going. I don't even remember now.
We were talking about
But
Montauk,
I
about
know.
the energies,
Yeah,
about everything being from the past.
I know. I know what we're talking about, but I'm searching for the life of me to remember where I was going with it before you ran off, because there is it goes everywhere. So I don't remember what I was going to say.
I think it's time for Anton.
It is. Yeah. Kind of pissed off at you right now. I was going to make a point. I had something to say. I don't remember what it was, though.
Well, the mud flood shit, man. All that shit they keep showing on the mud flood stuff. All the old power plants and shit, the grids and things, and it shows. And the grids are even like the temples in India. They represent the grids. They look just like the grids that are around the world.
I know, but what was I going to say? Because it was good. I was going somewhere, I remember. It's unfortunate. Yeah. It sucks. Now I can think about is Anton.
I can think about now is Anton.
I'm excited about that experiment, though, to find out if Missouri cannabis is actually better. This here is Illinois.
Probably. That Illinois shit's killer.
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 What, they spray it with Monsanto?
No, because they're shooting the fuck out of each other in the streets every day.
It's dangerous. I don't go to Chicago.
I'm sorry, can I say that word? Streets?
Maybe not. I haven't checked today. On the wings of a dream. That's where that thought is. On the wings of a dream. Whatever it was I was going to say. It's on the wings of a dream.
And then, so like Tesla says, I'm just starting back up the technologies from the past. And then Preston Nichols in that interview says the same exact thing about Montauk. Says all we did was restarted back up the Tesla experiments. And when they started that back up, that's when the fucking USS Eldred reappeared in Montauk Harbor. Weird, man. Like, oh, shit. Here we go. And then they're like, forget about it,
Right.
Oops, bad. We'll never do it again. Forget about it, This is a sweet solo.
Yeah, solo. It really is good.
So we're getting these new backdrops at work. So they make like they look like old brick building, warehouse type.
Yeah.
All over the lanes and shit, over the pins and shit. So it's gonna look sweet as fuck. And so after the you know how like when the machine comes down to set the pins, it's got that guard in the front.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take all them guards off. So it's gonna really look fucking classic, man. It's gonna look sweet as shit. When it comes down, all you're gonna see is buckets and frame. And then I go back up. You'll see all the mechanical parts and shit on it.
That's cool.
Man, I can't believe he held that note that long.
He's unbelievable.
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 So good. I wish he had more songs. I don't understand how they put a lid on this amount of talent.
Speaking of flying like an eagle, how the hell do you get an airplane with no turbines and painted on windows to fly in the air and only kick 2 people off, even though there was like 75 people stuck to it?
You're talking about that plane in Afghanistan?
It's magic. Magic.
A lot of interesting stuff there. I haven't fully looked into it. I did see a Beam was talking about it. I was watching a stream, a minute or so of his stream, talking about the pictures. And he was also talking about it on his Facebook timeline, people giving him shit for saying it was fake.
Of course.
But I haven't looked into it myself. What do you know? I know the picture don't look real.
All I can tell you is from my own experience, I used to work at an airport. If you're anywhere near that plane, not just the turbines, you're getting thrown all over the fucking place. The plane itself in that video has the front windows are painted on. That's clear as day. The windows are painted on. You don't see any rivets. You don't see any line, any structure to the plane itself. And like one guy says in the video, you see a bunch of people that are standing around the front of the plane, right? Like they're hiding something. And then there's this gap of nobody, and then another bunch of people. And what somebody's theory was that all those people were hiding the tow. That they have like these little tow buggies. We used to ride them around too because you had to pull the shit around at the airport. We used to do freight and stuff like that at the airport. So these planes, there's no way if you're anywhere near it. If you're behind it, it's you ain't gonna have any skin left on your body. If you're in front of it, it'll either suck you in or throw you about 150 feet. But either way, you're not going to be anywhere near those things. And the turbines for planes, they have to exceed the front of the plane. And when you watch that video, you're not seeing any turbines at all inside those holes. They just look like empty black holes. Well, that's not how a turbine works. A turbine needs that air coming in to help it turn. So it has to actually be in front of the structure itself. So if you ever notice when you look at a plane, all plane engines have a turbine that exceeds past the plane itself. It sticks out. But on this plane, it's just a bunch of black empty holes and some black windows painted on. And you never see the whole video of the plane either. You just see the video of the plane coming in and then that's it, and you don't see any more.
These are some screen grabs, comparisons with a real plane versus what was in the video.
So yeah, you look at the one on the bottom. You don't see any turbine whatsoever. Nothing.
Yeah, here.
Yep.
Mm-mm. And then look at these details that aren't here. The stuff.
Look how the windows are
The
painted.
windows, you can't see through. There's no reflection in the glass. It's interesting. That looks like a blow up to me. It doesn't look real.
No, and you notice too. Look at the dip in the wing. How on the one on the top you can see rivet lines. You can even see dirt that got stuck in the rivet line, and on the one on the bottom, it's one piece, like a fucking balloon at a rally or some shit.
It does look like a balloon. I like the number 2 is interesting to me.
Yeah, 9/11. It's on both of them.
Well, this is a real plane here.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the blow up decoy.
So what they're trying to tell you is the one at the bottom is the same exact one as the one at the top because you can't have the same number on two planes. So what they're trying to tell you is that the one at the top is the one at the bottom, and they're not. I can tell you right now from looking at it, it's not. The lettering, the font, isn't even close to being the same.
No, it definitely does look like a blow up decoy. And that video looked fake as shit.
Didn't it? They're all running around it. When those things, right. even when they're just chartering on the runway,
it's not even blowing their garments. No.
They're on their cell phones and shit. Yeah.
Have you seen the memes where they got them carrying pictures and signs?
They're not even folding.
It's hilarious. Ain't even folding. They're smiling, laughing, running.
Right. They're all wearing dresses, and none of them have a fucking dress over their head, stuck over their head. Nothing. Man, that's one awesome plane, man, to have nothing, no pressure whatsoever coming out of the back of that engine.
That's very interesting. I got to look into it more, but a lot of what's going on there is insane. You been following any of it?
Yes, and it's all by plan, man. This was all planned out. This is not by accident. This is 8 months into his regime, and now the Taliban's back. You know what I'm saying? It's always been the globalists versus the nationalists. And when you had the previous administration in there, they were the nationalists, and now the globalists are back. So now they're putting their boys back in office. Listen, the Taliban that's in Afghanistan right now is the same Taliban that was once Al-Qaeda. It's the same Al-Qaeda that was once the Afghan freedom fighters from 1979 that George Bush Sr. paid $9 billion and gave them a surplus of old Vietnam weapons. Same motherfuckers. So this is nothing new. This is all by design, and the same people are still paying the same people to still do the same shit. This has been going on since 1979. 79. It's the same people. The people that are there now are the ones we paid in 1979. That's a fact. And they don't hide it. They tell you straight up. The Afghan freedom fighters were fighting for their freedom against Russia.
That's true, though. You can look all that shit up. You know, the CIA created the Taliban. And, just look at the evidence. Not 20 years, 4 presidents, all this money to replace the Taliban with the Taliban. It was all on purpose. And then they left them another, $1 trillion worth of equipment.
Oh, yeah, and money, too. I bet you the money's there. You'll find it. It'll one day they'll just come out and say, yeah, we paid them. Cool. Because they're already trying to use the media to make the Taliban look good. You know what I'm saying? They're already like, oh, Taliban out in the street doing security. Good for them. Security patrols out in the streets of Afghanistan as they try to bring back freedom.
Well, they're giving us till the 31st to get the fuck out.
That was all retarded. If you're going to leave, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to get rid of your equipment. Then you're supposed to get rid of your civilians. Then your military walk out last.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
They left everybody.
You do that in a business. You think of it as a business. You do that as a business. You fucking start pulling out your surplus. You know what I'm saying? You pull out all your equipment and everything all out of the business.
I closed down a video store. We did that. We
Then
got
you
everything out of there, man.
Yep, and then you give pink notices to your employees.
And we
That's number
walked out and locked
2.
the door. Yeah.
So those are your civilians. And then number 3, you as management are the military. You're last one out the door. But you have to get rid of your inventory first. You're not just gonna leave that shit there for someone to come in and steal that shit. You're talking $5,000-$6,000 freezers and shit. So first thing is you get your equipment out, and then you get your civilians out, and then you get your last. You're the last one out the door. But
Right.
instead, when you watch the videos of the first day, those planes were loaded, 3 planes loaded with military personnel. They left some 30, 40, 50,000 American civilians stranded at the airport. And a lot of these people have been helping us for the last 20 years. So what do you think the Taliban's doing to them now?
I don't know.
The sure as hell ain't helping them
Eating
out.
ice cream party at carnival party. Think it's something fun.
You know, you help out the enemy for 20 years, they got a special something for you.
Well, you're all working for the same people.
Yeah,
They might call them by their code names and shit. They
yeah,
might know, like, you know, they might know his real name. Like Osama bin Laden was Tim Osman.
yeah.
Maybe they're like, "Hey, Chuck, like, any cameras? Oh, yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Chet,
Yeah,
Chet,
what's up, man? How you?
Zach and Chet. Yeah. He's like, "Ah." He's like,
Yeah."
oh, Zach. And he's like, Chet.
And they make sure no one's looking, they can drop character for a second, and have a real
Yep,
conversation.
yep. Oh yeah. What do you think about the sports ball this year?
I don't know. You think they're into sports ball?
I think so
I
because
saw a video of Tom Brady's kid playing around a little quarterback. He's pretty good.
really
Of course he is.
he's got the
He's the
genes.
best sports baller in the world's kid. I
He
just
is.
told you whose kid he was.
The guy's got
Yeah.
like 22 fucking world championships.
Can you imagine being Tom Brady's kid if you weren't good?
Man, he wasn't
He'd
even a
probably
starter.
throw you out in the street.
Dude, he wasn't even a starter at Michigan, and he wasn't a starter at New England. Think about that one. That blows my mind. He was a 7th round draft pick for New England. He was not a starter there. That was Drew Bledsoe's job. And when he was in Michigan, Drew Henson was the starter.
Jim Henson created the Muppets.
He did.
He did.
He did. That is awesome. That goes exactly with what I was saying.
It does. Well, he said on the street, fighting is also regular citizens. They don't want their neighbors leaving. They say they should stay and help fight. It's not all Taliban trying to stop them.
Hmm.
And Dana said that it's shameful that our people were left in that situation. Tracy was talking about destroying the equipment. All of this is crazy. You see, there's all kinds of things coming out now. People calling for Biden to be court-martialed, not just impeached. One commander outright said it, but a lot of people are also adding in their 2 cents.
Is
That
is
this
is,
is
is this going to be how they do what you were talking about this whole time?
what?
Bring in Giggly Butt.
Giggly butt. What
Good
is
old
wrong with her, man?
good
By the
old
way,
Giggly Butt.
Kamala, why is she always laughing? Why can't she break herself to that crazy laugh? Or she just don't give a shit? I was kicking it around last night that maybe she just don't care
Psycho.
because she doesn't have to sell herself to the people. She doesn't have to win an election.
Well, she's
She
fully
knows that
MK.
she will stay.
You know, she's fully MK. So there's a lot of weird shit going on up there. And
Mm.
she probably did it willingly too. She's like, can you MK me, please? It sounds so awesome.
I was talking about some of that with Bayless today because I'm trying to pick a lane for Montauk to make a little video to get us started with the series. I'm flirting with the Montauk chair. Have you heard much about that?
Yes.
Like going into that?
Yes, and it's in a fucking copper pyramid.
Yeah, I've been working around with maybe going into that first. I don't know
That's
where to hit it because I was listening to them today talking that interview you wanted me to watch, and I was like, Junior's kind of interesting story too. There's a lot of little things you
yeah.
could break off.
Junior's badass, but it goes to like 11. Remember, they would put 11 in the dunk tank, and then they would shoot electricity into the dunk tank, and that would
Mhm.
send 11 into the fourth dimension.
He's talking
Well,
about Stranger Things. That show's based on Montauk.
that's what this the chair is. The chair is the dunk tank, and he could make shit appear. He made a beer appear on the general's fucking desk, and that's when they figured out, oh shit, we can bend time and space, and then they ramped it up, and that's when they started kidnapping kids and all that shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there, so I'm trying to figure out where to start with it. But that's what I keep coming back to is that Montauk chair. That's fascinating.
It is. It's all about energy and frequency. That was the startup of the Tesla experiments.
That's the
Starting.
point I was trying to make earlier. I knew we'd get back to it.
Yeah.
How everything is energy and frequency, and it's all related, and it makes sense. When you start
Hmm.
thinking about it, a lot of things start making sense. I don't know, it's
Yes.
opening a lot of different doors, but everything's melding together, so it's getting hard to focus on a single topic because I'm like, I just want to keep learning about other things because it's like I figured out a new way of looking at stuff. Something clicked. I don't know how to explain it. But that's the point
Energy.
I was trying to make earlier.
Everything is energy and frequency.
If I edit it together now, it'll fit. No, it won't. But still, I'm glad I thought of it. It's like having a song stuck in your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate
Every
that shit
day.
too, by the way. I wish you could program your mental channels or at least program a set list or song list. That, all right, I want to have these 3 songs stuck in my head today. But no, it's always something random. The other day it was Backstreet Boys for me. And I knew every word. I didn't even know that I knew every word. It's always something weird.
Uh,
What is it for you when you get a song stuck in your head? Is it usually something you like?
it's usually I don't know. I mean, it'll be like a theme or something. Like I'll have a thought, and then some part of that thought will trigger a song, and then boom, that song is stuck in my head for the day. Or if I'm in a really good mood, it's always Funky Town. Dun, 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 dun.
Really?
Yeah, I'll go
My
around the house.
consistent good mood one is the theme to Tom and Jerry. I get that stuck in my head all the time, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Turtles in a half shell.
They're the world's most deadliest fighting team.
They are.
They're heroes in a half shell, but they're also green.
They're
There's
fucking
a lot
awesome.
to them. There's levels. It's a fascinating cartoon.
Yes, and they live in the sewer.
They do. Because humanity sucks and they can't accept them, even though they do so much to protect us.
Right. And then the rat, their sensei,
Splinter?
Splinter.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He didn't have to do that, take them turtles in.
He
Nobody made him do that.
didn't have to do it,
He did it anyway.
because
He
he's a
could
nice guy.
look, these are mutant turtles, super strong and shit. They could have went wild. Who knows how much damage would have been done? He took them in though, raised them right,
Right?
taught them
Yep.
morals and ethics, and taught them
Karate.
what to do with that karate too, though. How to be leaders, and you know, and what's good, like pizza
Pizza.
and easy. You can get a
Yeah.
pizza delivered to a sewer.
That is cool. And
It's
that's
hard to
what they
get your
lived
groceries
off of.
delivered to a sewer. Like Paul he has his groceries delivered.
Yeah, well, if they're gonna fucking go to a straight fucking self checkout, then I'm just gonna have it delivered. So you're still gonna have to pay somebody.
That self checkout is amazing concept in action when you see it because there's a Walmart by me. I don't know if you have them there that are all self checkout. They don't have a real cashier.
No, but they said by 2023, all WalMarts nationwide are gonna be self
Well,
checkout.
this one nearby me is a test for that, I guess, because they have no real cashiers. It's all self checkout. So everything is on sale there, technically. Because I feel like in court, it'll stand up because they never trained me how to operate that machine. I had no training in this new position that I find myself in.
Right.
I did not know that you had to scan every item. I thought you could scan every other item and be good. It's a,
You know, eventually that's what it's going to be. Eventually,
no one told me.
these stores are just going to be holding warehouses, and everything's going to be delivered to your door.
Amazon has stores where you go in and you have an account and shit, I guess, already, and your phone is hooked to it. But you go in and you just pick stuff up off the shelf and walk out with it, and it knows what you grabbed, it charges you for it, everything.
That's cool.
It's not cool.
That's pretty cool.
No, it's not.
I
don't
remember
like it.
back in the day, they were already fucking trying a lot of this shit out. When I was a child, we went to Disney in Florida, and a lot of the technologies there, they already had a McDonald's that was touchless, everything, and you just fucking you walked up and you said into this little speaker what you wanted, and then it all popped up on the screen, and then while you were in line, and then you walked up another two steps, and you fucking already had your Disney credit card, and you just held it up, and it goes zing, and then you fucking that paid for your food, and you went up another three steps, and you picked up your food.
I've never been to Disney World.
Dude, this was like back in the 80s.
Hmm. So you've always been rich.
Shit.
Only rich kids get to go to
Shit.
Disney World.
We rode in a van, my whole family and shit, and it was fucking hot and everything. But what was cool though is in Kentucky we were in the fucking woods, like this fucking truck stop that was right by the woods, and it was all fucking just bats and shit. You could hear the bats going nuts in the background.
I'm
That shit was
scared of
cool
them.
as hell. Bats are cool. Bats like humans. They
I like
clean up
them
our shit.
from far away. And I heard they eat bugs, and I hate
They do.
bugs. So
They eat.
they're I'm tight with them, but I want to be like far away from them.
They do. They eat mosquitoes and shit. Scans the whole card at once, Lolly said. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Just fucking grab a whole cart full of shit and walk out.
Hey, have you seen that shit now they do where you scan your room with your phone? If you want to search for stuff, you can just point your phone at it and your phone will search it.
No.
My phone, you know how you pocket dial shit, accidentally do stuff on your phone?
Mm-hmm.
I accidentally did it on mine. It's some creepy shit. So it starts boxing up everything that's on my desk, for example, and just naming it all. You can search it. You just click on it. You can search for those items. I'm like, that's creepy as fuck.
It is creepy. It's cool.
Mm-mm.
It's creepy. I mean, technology's badass, but at the same time, it's very invasive.
It was funny in that moment because that happened by accident, but it made me aware that they're doing this all the time. So that's their feed all the time. Like,
Right.
like,
It's already happening. You just didn't fucking go to the
yeah,
app and see it.
right. I
in
just
real
never
time.
seen it happening. Like the
Right.
thing is like boxing up every item in the room and identifying it. I'm like, that's what it's doing all the time.
Like, oh shit. So that's what I'm fucking agreeing to in my terms of agreement.
Oh, much more than that. Much more than that. No one reads those things.
Yeah.
They get you to agree to give up your firstborn child in those things. They have full permission to your devices.
Everything. Anything they want to do. They can get into your contacts. They can turn on your audio devices, your camera, all that shit. It says it right in their terms of agreement.
Oh, they can do everything. They can use your Wi-Fi signal.
Wi-Fi signal. But isn't that kind of like what we do with those I forget what they're called. Where it looks like you're in Guatemala. VPN.
Oh yeah. I have one of those.
Yeah.
I'm kind of pissed off at myself because I bought or went with the Tunnel Bear, but I heard there's like one that's at Shark something. Like, it sounded so much cooler.
Shark face.
Yeah, something about a shark. I liked it more.
All
I think
right,
it's even
well,
cheaper.
I gotta go. I gotta do this work thing.
You gotta go wash your hair.
Yeah. I
Oh,
gotta
you're
go
going
wash
to
it.
work already?
Yeah, I gotta work.
You're usually not even up this early.
That's what I was telling you last night. We got early days. I gotta be there for that shit when it comes in. I got all that backdrops and shit, 40 lanes of backdrops to put up.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be a busy day.
All right, man. Well, you have fun with that.
All right, but I want to plug my endorsement real quick.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see. I don't know if I'll be able to support it.
Hey everybody. Do you want to be a hero? Well, do I have the solution for you? It's called Pfizer. You just take it in the arm 5, 6 times a year, and you too can be a hero like me. And don't worry, it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt anybody. It doesn't do anything, but you'll be a hero. Pfizer, get in line or step the fuck off. You're muted. You're muted.
You're muted.
You're muted. How was that, huh?
That was good. Yeah, but
Huh?
I don't support it, but it was good. I think you're going to get a lot more money from from Pfizer than I'm getting from Dr. Squatch.
You're right. Step up or step the fuck off. You know?
Yeah. You'll probably
Man,
get a check in your mailbox tomorrow.
that's catchy.
It is. All right, man.
All
You
right,
have a good
brother.
one.
All right, love you guys. God bless.
All right, so Paul's off to work, but I was going to stick around and talk to you guys for a bit and unpack some of that or anything else you wanted to discuss because we usually go for a little longer than that. And I was trying to pretend I didn't know he was leaving at the end there, but yeah, I knew he had to go to work. The guy works too much, you know. But yeah, Tracy, you're right. Cover the mic and camera. I just never think of it, especially on my phone. But I was very aware of it in that moment when it accidentally did it. Oh my God, it's looking at everything, but it's doing this all the time. Not just when I tell it to. And I gave it permission. Every time you get one of them little games or anything, that's what you're doing is you're giving it permission to do all that. Don't think about it. No one reads those things either. But what I was talking about in the beginning is I've been looking at all this interesting stuff, probably too much at once, actually. Um, because all these other doors have been opened now that this has clicked in my head uh, that this has been being played with for 1,000 years at least. You can trace it all back, the same stuff. Like I was telling Zach this morning, it goes further back than Operation Paperclip. In World War II, that research is older than that. A lot of what they were experimenting with and trying to do. It ties into so much other stuff, so it's hard for me right now to pinpoint any one topic. Like, man, I kind of need to because I need to make another little video, especially one of the Montauk series. I want to start that. So I think the Montauk chair is what's got my eye right now. That's very interesting. I saw that earlier and I put it up that Trudy had said about Rumble that they have live streaming. I will absolutely after this look into that because I had a Rumble a long time ago. I still have it, but I just haven't been there in a while. Hey, Babels, how you doing? I didn't know you was watching. Paul had to leave the Yank early because he's got to work, but that's why he's so rich and has 10,000 guitars. Or no, I have it backwards. He has seven $10,000 guitars. I get confused. Montauk is a beast, but not only can I do it, it's just we're going to break it into little chunks. So the series on Montauk is going to never end, really. I can always keep coming back to it, I think. It won't be like Tesla and have an ending. There's all kind of little things to cover there. And then, the project never ended. So then you can just follow that into the different areas where it's been privatized and keep going. You got to take your pumpkin to the vet. He's not eating. Um, our niece was just over the other day, and we had some oil outside. She took a kitten and a cat and dipped them in it. So I've been trying my best to get that out of their fur. And I gave the kitten another bath this morning. I used Dawn this time, and I even used some of my Dr. Squatch. I gave her a once over with the Squatch as well. But I looked at her again. I'm going to have to do it again. It's like her third or fourth bath. I think she really likes it. Her mother, though, the adult cat, not a fan. She puts up a big fight. But the kitten now lays back. You can pour the water, and it's just it's digging it. And when you go to dry her, she's completely calm. Loves being dried off. So yeah, motor oil and dipped it. The black kitten, full body dip. The adult cat, only really the back end. But the adult cat needs another go over. I got to look at the kitten again once she's completely dry because I really used a lot of Dawn on her this morning and tried to get it good, but she don't fight much in the bath. We can start talking about it. I just don't have a video yet for it. I want to try to finish something today. And I think it had to be on the Montauk chair, which is really interesting. Um, I think Paul was describing a different device, the one described on Stranger Things. Maybe they're saying it does the same thing on that show, but this one would have been different in the descriptions of it I heard. But what he was talking about it being able to do is similar. This one of the ways it could be described, the chair, Professor Xavier's chair in the X-Men, is kind of based on the Montauk chair, and they were experimenting with all this stuff. They say they were never successful, but they sure did invest a lot of money and time. Even just what they tell you, though, think of what. But it's just fascinating to me how much this ties into all these other things, and starting to make these other things make so much more sense. I think it's neat. But if you guys would give me just a second, I want to take a moment to remind you to support the shows. And there's lots of ways to do it. You can find them all at theshawnyankeeshow.com under support us. But one way to do it is our merchandise store. And you're going to be missing out on Paul's usual additions to this little bit. But we still got to show you because you can go there and get all kinds of sweet Shawn Yankee Show merchandise. I'm even going to make a few more original t-shirts for the store. We got 14 original t-shirts right now, though. Hey, while you got a minute, let me talk to you. Do you have excellent taste? Do you love cool t-shirts? Then you need some sweet Shawn Yankee Show swag. And do I have just the place for you? The official Shawn Yankee Show merchandise store. Your home for the best t-shirts, stickers, and cool official Shawn Yankee Show swag around. Check out this sweet tee. Or this premium stylish hoodie. What about this sweet coffee mug? Support our shows and help us grow in style at the Shawn Yankee Show merchandise store. Stick around. Shawn will be right back and there's more show to come. Nora asked if this is one of ours, the one I'm wearing right now. No, this isn't one of ours. Ours are much better than this. This is a really cool one. I like this one, but ours are so much better than these. And you can get them all at our merchandise store. And you can find that under the Support Us tab on the ShawnYankeeShow.com too. But yeah, the dipping motor oil was not for fleas, but now she doesn't have any. Probably just wanted to see what the kitten looked like completely dipped in oil. Had nothing to do with trying to stop her fleas. I want to take another run at the point I was trying to make there. This experimentation, these things they're trying to do. They're trying, in my opinion, to pierce the veil. These technologies, these are ancient. Like I'm theorizing that a lot of this stuff is being attributed to Nikola Tesla, that he didn't really invent it. They just put a name to it so that you'd stop looking there. But it's older than that. And it goes to them wanting to leave this realm and escape it in some way. But they're trying to manipulate space and time, uh, all this stuff. But they have been doing that for a very long time. It's just extremely interesting to me. And it makes it hard to try to figure out how to get a handle on it because it's all growing too much right now because I'm thinking of it in a whole different way because things are making sense that didn't before. A lot of different things on too many different topics because of that piece, you know. And I was trying to make an analogy this morning with Babels that, you know, a lot of people in science, they can't figure out certain things or they'll say certain things like it's a mathematical probability that we live in a matrix, that this is all just a computer program. They say that because a created reality is what makes the most sense mathematically and all these things. They keep coming back to that, but they've taken God off the table. They've eliminated that as an answer. So it's got to be created, though. It's a computer program. They eliminate the answer, though. So many of these different things, they just take that completely off the table and come up with some bullshit, and then they'll get all behind it and support it when it doesn't stand in any way in order to remove the answer always. So it's starting to make so much more stuff that makes sense. Just really cool. But I got to get a hold of something. Just grab it. And I think I'm going to go with Montauk chair. So I'm going to attempt that today. Try to get that done. I don't want to promise you nothing, though. But we can definitely talk about Montauk. We can talk about it more right now if you want. I got other stuff pulled up, too, to get into. Plus, we can get into my investigation. I want to investigate this. I really want to know. I still feel like both states are way too high in their pricing, but I drive a long way to save money. Maybe I'm not really saving anything if I'm getting ripped off. I don't mind it if I'm saving money, but if I'm being ripped off, that's different. I'll never do it. Like, Paul's got his new endorsement with that company, I don't agree with it. That's why I put him solo. He can say that all by himself. 5 jabs to the eye and stuff he likes to say. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in supporting it or pushing it. And I keep commenting on this one guy, this friend of mine. I like him, but he keeps posting bullshit and misinformation. I keep calling it out. I have to. It's got to be uncomfortable to spread misinformation and bullshit anymore. You can't do that. You can't allow it. I keep getting pulled into it, but so he's alone in his endorsement with them. I'm gonna stick with Dr. Squatch. And they are, and they are using ancient knowledge. These are things they understood in the ancient times. It's why a lot of these structures make no sense because you're not thinking of it the way they thought of it. You're lied to about your reality from the very jump. So there's no possible way that you could ever do what they did. Trudy, it's very interesting. And a lot of it, like I said, if you really dig, you can find out still goes on. It's just been corporatized and privatized in the private sector and paid for with dark money. It never stopped. Why would it ever stop? Danon says the pricing is high. Now, my little experiment to enter human trials in my experiment to find out for sure, once and for all, if Missouri cannabis is better in quality and potency than Illinois is $65. That would be the experiment cost. And it's high for a half a gram. That's high. It's still very high. Paul pays like a third of that, but I'm interested in finding out because I drive an hour and a half to get the other. Now, maybe I don't need to do that. It calls her bagels. Uh, that's funny. I've never watched a show with closed caption, but that's funny as hell. You know, my daughter, when she was little, she couldn't say chocolate right. It came out fuck it. So she would call it fuck it milk because she loved fuck it milk. But we'd be at the grocery store and she'd be screaming that. And it's hilarious. That's funny that closed caption calls her bagels. Dana wants me to design a T-shirt that says "Sprinkle some cannabis" on it. I think that'd be a good one. Um, I got a few others kicking around in the old head. I want to make more, but I still don't even have all of them. I only got about 7. Like I said, we got 14. Kathy says you get what you pay for. Right. I agree with you. And I won't know till I find out, will I? So I think I need to do that. Bagels are delicious. They're very good. I haven't had one in a really long time though, but I remember them being good. Well, let's see. I wish I'd have brought a game or something. I, I know Paul has to work and he has to go set all that up, but I think he's just more excited about the background. Do you hear how excited he was? How he went on and on about that background? I wonder now if he had something to do with making it or designing it, or maybe has his face on it. He's a big deal there, so it's possible. I don't know. I want a bagel, but only if there's a bunch of cream cheese on it, like quarter-inch thick. I love that. Human trials are important, and I'm never going to get a real answer if I don't investigate. And I want the truth. So we're going to find out. The thing is, I almost don't want to know because I really like the store that I go to, the one I drive all that way to go to. And they give me 25% off just for having a medical card, even though it's an out of state medical card. So it's much cheaper, really. It might not be good. And I won't know that until I enter human trials. Because I do proper science, I'm going to be thorough in this. And then I'm going to blow the lid wide off of it. I'm going to tell everybody. And we talked about so much, though. Now I'm confused where to go with it and where to get a handle on it and what to talk about now. That's interesting, though. I've never heard treating an animal for fleas with motor oil, like a motor oil bath to remove fleas. Babels is watching this really weird show on cold case files. And I'm finding it very fascinating because of a joke that I heard from another comic talking about the first 48 and why that show is even called that, because that's how long they investigate a murder for. It's 48 hours. But these cold cases, a lot of these I was listening. I'm not really watching it, but I was listening. They're going into this for months and months and months. I'm like, so who's telling the truth? But, you'll hear this description of how they catch these people. And it's like, once you finally hear what happened, they didn't even try to get away with it. Make no effort, a lot of these people. The Montauk Monster, you think that'd be an easier chunk to bring up? We touched on that in Lyme disease. We made a video about Lyme disease, and we touched on the Montauk Monster. So that'd be a good one. I at least have a starting point there. Unthinkable things are what went on there, and may still. That whole base is underground at Camp Hero, and no one's allowed in there. And that tower still emits a signal. So who knows? All I know for sure is they're lying to us about absolutely everything, really. So I was reading on RT this morning that the CIA chief is held secret in-person talks with the Taliban leader in Kabul. But that doesn't surprise me at all, because Paul explained it quite well, actually, that the CIA created the Taliban. Well, I imagine it does. Kathy says the motor oil suffocates the fleas. I imagine. But I imagine it's also really bad for the cat. I know that kitten seemed to be begging me for a bath this morning because we've been trying and trying to get that oil out. And she just waits by the door. I think she really wants that oil gone. It's tough to get it out though. The Dawn works really good. I'm curious to see once she dries off though, because today I hit her twice, and the second time was Dr. Squatch. She smells really good. I'm curious to see how that came out. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out today at the Morning Yank, and remind you that in just a little while this will be up as a podcast and you can check it out. I like it better as a podcast, actually. I like listening to it because you get to use your imagination. I'm all right, but it's kind of my fault. I feel responsible, you know. It's awful. I feel so bad for them. And Sassy, the adult cat, she fights you in the bath. Like, it took two people to do her bath, and she don't like it at all. I want no part of it. But I see her licking herself, trying to clean herself, and I'm just like, "Ugh, I'm gonna have to fight you again because you're gonna make yourself sick. Can't let you do that." But come back tonight, though. It's motivation night on the Shawn Yankee Show, and then Friday night, come back for Nick Stinson. Nick Stinson's coming back to the show Friday night. It's gonna be exciting. It's been a long time since I've seen Nick. I'm excited about all that. And then next week, me and Paul will be back for another episode of the Morning Yank. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you later on tonight at the Shawn Yankee Show.